My name is Brian Kingsberry. Welcome back to another segment of What Sold. This is where I look at what sold section on eBay and we kind of go through a category and determine what is selling for big money. Today we're going to think about a section that is not popular right now. We're going to get into jackets. We're in the middle of summer right now and it's a great time to source jackets. They're plentiful at the thrift shop and the thrift shops are looking to get rid of them. So you can kind of source jackets right now, and one way to do that is through online arbitrage. You can go online and search for jackets, and today we're going to search vintage jackets and see what is selling. When you go to eBay and type in a vintage jacket, it shows that there's 1 million currently listed. When you go over here and narrow your search to show only the sold items that have sold vintage jackets in the last 90 days, here's what you find. There you see it, it shows that there's 120,000 that have sold in the last 90 days. You go over here to narrow the search even more. We want to search what has sold over $100. So we type in 100 right here, hit this little arrow, and it shows. There you see it, it shows that 19,000 have sold in the last 90 days. So just a quick recap, it shows that there's 1 million vintage jackets listed. 120,000 of those have sold in the last 90 days. And of that, 19,000 have sold for over $100. But we're not interested in those 19,000. What we want to know is the top 10 selling vintage jackets the last 90 days. Let's take a look. So to find out that information, we go over here, we click this to sort by highest to lowest. We go over here, sort highest to lowest, and here's what we see. Now, since I'm a men's clothing seller, I'm going to narrow that search even more. I see a lot of women's jackets popping up, Dolce & Gabbana, Chanel, that sort of stuff. We want to focus on men's clothing, so I'm going to narrow my search to only men's items. So in order to do that, we go over here to category, we click on specifically men, and here's what we'll find. At number 1 on our list of the most expensive vintage jackets sold in the last 90 days is this. What is it? It's a GNX number 148 vintage 1987 Buick jacket. It sold for $10,000. Take a closer look at this. It appears to be new in the plastic still. Just 2 photos. There you see the back. There you see the front. GNX Buick 148. You can see it says 148 on the left hand side there and GNX Buick on the right. So that's kind of an interesting listing. It says here, item description from the seller. This is the Molly Designs original. Comes with car number 148. So I'm not sure if this is something that came with a vintage car of some sort. Model number 1987. So a pretty interesting little jacket here. It must be something special. It sold for $10,000. At number 2 on the list of the most expensive men's vintage jackets sold in the last 90 days is this. What is it? It's a vintage 1993 Chrome Hearts leather moto jacket. Very rare. This one sold for $5,000. Let's take a closer look at this one. As you can see, it kind of has that cross design on the back there. Nice looking 1993 Hearts leather jacket. There's a look at the front of it. Has that fancy zipper design. Appears to be in excellent condition. Some extra buttons there. There is the label. Chrome Hearts leather is what it is labeled as. Hard to read that there, but there is the fancy zipper I was telling you about. Another look at it. So 1993, this one's coming from Chrome Hearts leather moto jacket. Very rare. Plenty of photos here, and there is the initial photo. Again, this one sold for $5,000. At number 3 on the list of the most expensive vintage jackets sold in the last 90 days, men's category. This one is a vintage Levi's Type 1 jacket. Big E, dark buckle back, hidden rivets, 1 pocket. There it says. And this one sold for $5,000. Best offer accepted. And let's take a closer look at this. You knew Levi's was going to show up on the list. This is an old one, a vintage. They're calling this a Type 1 Big E. So you'll probably look for that on the label. There's the pocket. Get to know the look of this, and maybe you will find one when searching for that jacket section at that thrift shop. You never know. There's a look at that red Levi's tag. That's the one you're looking for. They're calling this the Type 1 Big E, so we're looking for that Big E. I think that was on the label there. If you look at that Big E. And we're going to continue looking at the rest of these photos, see if we can find any other significant details about this jacket that might stand out. There you see the button, and very interesting old jacket, $5,000. Does have a little thing on the back there to kind of cinch up, and not seen on most the modern Levi's jackets, but it's on this one. So get to know what these look like, because this is a $5,000 jacket right here. So you want that big money, look for this vintage Levi's Type 1 jacket, Big E, dark buckleback. They're calling that the buckleback, hidden rivets, one pocket. Hidden rivets, one pocket. So there you see it. Had that hidden rivets and the one pocket. There's the button there, and there's that pocket you're looking for. At number 4 on the list of the most expensive men's vintage jackets sold in the last 90 days is this one. Let's take a look. This is a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren Japanorak 1992-2010 Olympic Expedition Anorak size medium. It sold for $3,499. Best offer accepted. So there's a look at it. $3,499. Someone took a best offer. Let's take a closer look at some of these photos. Maybe we can spot this one out in the wild. It says Japan on the front there. They're calling this the Japanorak, an anorak type jacket with the pockets in the front there, as you can see. Japan with the rising sun flag there. And there it is. Interesting Olympic style jacket. Very cool. And cuffs there, as you can see, the red, white, and blue. And there, see, it zips down the side, kind of a snowboarding type style. And very cool anorak type jacket, Olympic Expedition Japanorak, they're calling this, by Ralph Lauren Polo. And there you see it, the Ralph Lauren Polo Team USA with the Olympic rings there on the tag. So this must be something pretty rare. Came from Vancouver 2010 Olympics, it looks like. An official outfitter of the 2010 US Olympic team. So this one has been around the block back from 2010. They're calling this a 1992 jacket, but I'm not sure exactly why that is the case, if it was used in 2010, but definitely had the demand for this one, and it got sold $3,499 for this one, even with a few little flaws. There's a look at it, the original photos. NYC creative Geraldo Rodriguez on this iconic Japanorak from 2011. It's the full package deal to me, it says here. So that's what you're looking for. The 2010 Olympics, a piece of Olympic history right there. At number 5 on the list of the men's most expensive vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days was this. It's not even a jacket. It is a rare vintage Outlaw Motorcycle Club Levi jacket, 1% MC patch Los Hombres. And it sold for $3,500. Best offer accepted. There you see it, a Levi's vest with a patch on the back there. Los Hombres, Bakersfield, as you can see there. Let's take a look at the rest of these photos. Appears to be very well worn, all kinds of stains and whatnot. So someone is buying this for that patch on the back there, representing that club. MC, it says 1%. And there's the front of it. Look at that. Look at all those stains, stained up with a few little patches on there. And it's a very interesting piece. Hard to believe. $3,500 someone shelled out for this vintage vest jacket, they're calling it. Has a 69 patch on the front there. Aries on the bottom. So a couple patches on this one. Sporky, I think, is the name on there. Either Sporky or Spooky, I can't tell. There you see it, a couple Confederate flag pins. You're not allowed to sell those on eBay, so they got away with that. But Los Hombres at Bakersfield. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this look at the most expensive vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days. Again, it's a good time to be out there sourcing jackets. You know, they're on sale at most places. You know, people are putting them in the back of the thrift shops. You know, you'll see the racks are completely full, and if you're looking to find these deals, now's the time that they'll actually be there. So go through those jacket sections, and who knows what you might find. You'll be able to buy in the off season and get it on sale. And it's kind of one strategy you can use to kind of use this off season to do a little sourcing of jackets. You know, it's hot out right now. Nobody's really interested in jackets. Donations of jackets are at an all-time high, so there's plenty of them at the thrift shops, and definitely plenty of them online. If you're sourcing online, doing a little online arbitrage, buying online to resell online, now's the time to grab those. You know, people are looking to get rid of them, get them out of their stores. You know, I tend to list seasonally a little bit, so I've ended a lot of my jackets, and I'm going to relist them again this winter. So that's one strategy you can kind of use, and there are a lot of sellers that do that. You know, some of them don't have the space to hold on to jackets during the off season, so they just get rid of them, and they're looking to get rid of them at a cheap price. So now you can really source and get it at the bottom of the barrel prices, and have them ready to flip for profits when that time comes. When the winter rolls around, you're going to have all kinds of jackets ready to go, and all that money will come in. So that's one way of sourcing. Let's take a look at the next five best-selling vintage jackets sold on eBay. At number 6 on the list of the most expensive vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days is this. It might look familiar because we just saw one like this. What is it? You remember? It's a Chrome's Hearts vintage leather jacket. This one is a little different than the other one though. This one sold for $3,500, best offer accepted. There you can see it's the same type of leather jacket. This one vintage with all those zippers on it. This one they put on a mannequin, and they have it there. Chrome Hearts vintage, they're calling this. So there you see it, 3 photos. Get to know that name. You see that Chrome's Hearts vintage, you'll know it's some big money. $3,500 for this one. 3 photos, take a look at them and get to know that jacket. At number 7 on the list of the most expensive vintage jackets men's sold on eBay the last 90 days is this. There you see it, Nintendo, right? What is this? It's a vintage Nintendo employee jacket, adult size medium. It sold for $3,383 at auction, 14 bids. They bid this one up, and that includes a $20.69 shipping charge. So it says on the back there, now you're playing with power, Nintendo. So this must be an old one. Back in the day, a Nintendo employee jacket, they're calling this, vintage, kind of light gray. There you see the logo, Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. So they must have issued these to the employees back in the day. This is a size medium. $3,383. There's the front of it. Rita, it says on there. They gave this one to Rita, the employee Rita. There she is. So listed in the men's section, this probably was a men's jacket issued to a woman employee. Playjack by Dunbrook is the brand on this one. Playjack by Dunbrook, a Nintendo vintage employee jacket, size medium, $3,383. Even has a little pilling on the inside. That didn't stop it. A few little flaws they pointed out here. Still sold for $3,383. Look out for that one. At number 8 on the list of the most expensive vintage jackets men's sold on eBay the last 90 days is this. Might look familiar. We saw one just like this. It's a vintage Nintendo gameplay counselor employee jacket, men's extra large, mint condition. This one sold for $3,000. Let's take a closer look. We saw the gray one there that had Rita on it. This one looks like it has Super Mario on the back there. There you see it, gameplay counselor with Super Mario flying through the air there. And there is the front of it. This one appears to have a satin finish. And a Dunbrook Playjack jacket. So they must have issued these to the employees, and these are rare. This one says Nintendo Super Mario flying on there. $3,000 this one sold for a vintage Nintendo Gameplay Counselor employee jacket. Size extra large. Alright, we've made it to number 8. You see those Nintendo jackets at the thrift. Definitely pick those up. Those are sold for over $3,000. So that's a big score if you see one of those. Vintage employee Nintendo jackets. Who knew, right? We made it to number 8, which means we have 2 left on the list of the most expensive men's vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days. Like I said, we do these what sold videos quite often just to kind of check different categories, see what's out there, kind of educate ourselves on these big money jackets that are selling. Maybe we'll spot one of these at the thrift, or maybe we go online and purchase one. If we know a jacket like that is selling for $3,000, we could maybe do a quick search, see what's out there, and make some offers. You know, if there's some in a store on eBay at a fixed price listing and they want to get rid of them, you make them a lowball offer, see if they'll accept it, right? And then list it back up online, and hopefully it'll sell next winter. Or specialty jackets like this can really sell year-round, like a vintage Nintendo jacket like that. So interesting to see. Who knew? Vintage Nintendo jackets. So let's get back into it. 2 more to go. Hopefully you guys will stick around for these last 2. At number 9 on the list of the most expensive vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days is this. What is it? It's a vintage Patagonia Thunder Night Sky 1990s Lightning Glissade jacket, extra large, rare. It is sold for $3,000. Best offer accepted. Let's take a look at this one. Again, they're calling this the Patagonia Thunder Night Sky 1990s Lightning Glissade jacket, extra large, rare, they put in there. So obviously this one is rare, but let's take a look at this rest of these photos. There it is, and interesting photos. That might be the inside of the jacket. So this might be a reversible jacket, extra large. The Thunder Night Sky, they're calling it. So I guess it does kind of look like a Thunder Night Sky, like a thunderstorm there. So you can wear that one either with a fleece side out or the shiny side out. There you see it. The 2 different sides. So Patagonia Vintage Thunder Night Sky 1990s. That goes way back. Lightning Glissade jacket, extra large, $3,000. They took a best offer on this guy. Alright, you've made it to past number 9. We're on number 10, which means I'm asking you for a like on this video. You made it this far, you might as well give it a like, right? So hit that like button on your way out. Let's take a look at number 10. At number 10 on the list of the most expensive men's vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days is this. It's a Curlin 1940s vintage horsehide double riders jacket, black, men's outerwear, sold for $2,800. Best offer accepted. Let's take a closer look at this one. There you see it. Curland is the brand, from the 1940s. It goes way back. So there's a look at the back of it. A little bit more detail. Appears to be a vintage horsehide double riders jacket. So looks like leather to me, but there you see it. Horsehide, they're calling this. Interesting vintage jacket. There you see the label. Curland is the brand. Star Sportswear, it says on there. You see that? That's the jacket. $2,800 for that one. Alright, we made it to the end of the video. I want to thank everybody for watching this one to the very end. Again, my name's Brian Kingsberry. If you'd be so kind to subscribe to the channel, we have more what sold videos on the channel and more coming every day. So you want to educate yourself a little bit about the big money stuff that's selling online. This is a good way to do that. Hopefully you got a little value out of this video, and you will come back and watch more in the future. I'm going to give you guys a bonus since I spotted one that I recognize, one we saw a little bit earlier at number 11. Let's do a bonus jacket. Let's take a look. At number 11 on the list of the top 10 vintage jackets sold on eBay the last 90 days, we're putting in some extra credit. So we're doing number 11 because we recognize this one as a Levi's jacket. What is it? It's a vintage Levi's 507 2X Type 2 1950s denim jacket, size 40. So we want to get to know these Levi's jackets. This one sold for $2,700, so I decided to add this one to the list at number 11 on the list of the men's top selling vintage jackets is this one, a Levi's 507 XX Type 2 1950s. There you see some more photos. Let's go through these real quick. You get to know these Levi's jackets. $2,700 that one sold for, from the 1950s. There you can see it, the Levi's red label there. So get to know the specifics of these jackets. 507 2X on there. And there you can see it says cotton on there, and there's the button. So these old style buttons, and you definitely want to notice these specifics. So if you see one on the vintage rack, you'll be able to notice it and know. Sometimes thrift stores have a little vintage section. You could probably check it out. If you know this one sells for $2,700, then you can definitely pay up for their vintage jacket. Has a little wear there on the sleeve. That didn't stop it from selling for $2,700. Someone took a best offer on this, so it may be a little less than that. Even that, look at all the wear on that sleeve. Still with all that wear from the 1950s, it's been through a few years, and that's to be expected. 2 pockets on this one. That other one was the 1 pocket, which sold for a little bit more. But these Levi's jackets, these true vintage Levi's from the 1950s, this one was sold for big bucks, $2,700, the 11th highest on eBay the last 90 days. So there you have it, a little extra credit, 11 listings. Take a look at that. You can go on eBay, do that search yourself to kind of see what I'm talking about in a little bit more detail. Go to that what sold section, search it, what sold, and search highest to lowest. You'll see the vintage jackets all up there, and you can kind of get a better look of what these jackets are going for. And then when next time you go sourcing, keep an eye out for these. You never know, you might find a Nintendo jacket, you might find a Levi's jacket, you might find an old Patagonia just sitting there on the racks waiting for you to make a couple $1,000s. So stranger things have happened. Keep an eye out. Thanks again for watching this one to the very end. If you would like this video on your way out, it would be greatly appreciated. You can go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. All you got to do is subscribe and then ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time another one of these what sold videos drop. Again, my name is Brian Kingsberry. Thanks for watching this one to the very end. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.